Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time we have all the top 32 lists from the last YCS Pasadena, and let's go ahead and go over all of them. So this is the first place list, Hani's build. We have a tier element, YuGiOh, we see 2 Druid Worm, 1 Sornier, multiple Diviners, went ahead, cut down to 2 Miri, 2 Rhino. 2 Miri is something that like nobody in this tournament was doing. It's definitely something different. 1 Scream, you kind of have to have at least one of it. And then see like Talons, Droplets, Super Poly on the side. Doesn't side any I want to see like, I mean Gamma's like a generic hand trap, but any hand traps like 4 tiers specifically, I mean they're probably siding on Gamma against the mirror match. Then YuGiOh, Mud, plays Beatrice because they play the Bestials, and you can also make it with the YuGiOh. Babushka, this card was really popular. This card was like so popular that like everybody expected it. And then IP Avermax. Yeah, just a lot of players weren't prepared for this very well. I'd say like every tier deck like has an out. Like you can crime to out this, but like there's a difference between having to like set a trap card and out it the next turn. Like there's a big difference between that and just like activate Smashers, banish it, get rid of it like the turn you summon it. Like people weren't playing Smashers. Super Poly was less popular. And then on to the second place list. This is Jesse Cotton's list. He's playing 42 cards in his build. Looks like, yeah, maxing out on the YuGiOhs, plays the Orange Light. This person plays 2 Magma, 3 Druid Worm, and 1 Sornier, so a little bit different than the last person, where they played 3 Magma, 2 Druid Worm. Magma is bad to mill, because they can Dark take it, and it's unfortunate. Other than that, it's like really strong. Sometimes even when you summon it, though, you don't even want to activate the on-field effect, because it plays into them having Havness, and sometimes, like, you hand trap them, and it's like, okay, hopefully they have nothing else, and you don't want to like activate the effect and then let them Havness you. And then we see anything else weird. 2 Rhino, plays Heartbeats, 2 Scream, 1 of each of the trap card. Side deck, 3 Spooky Dog, 3 Skull Mark Ladybug. Okay. I guess their deck was just very prepared for time. I kind of feel like 1 Scatter Shot in the deck. You know, maybe cut like 1 Skull Mark Ladybug, or cut like a Spooky Dog would. You know, cut something and put like 1 Scatter Shot in, just because Scatter Shot is like really easy to get access to. It's like guaranteed access pretty much. And then 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Droplet, 3 Twin. Yeah, there's not much to say about the side deck. Very prepared for time. Seems like they're prepared for like, you know, the decks that are not tier, and they just have like their main deck for tier. Looking at the extra deck, we can see that instead of playing Beatrice, they actually play the Wallow. Is this card, I think for the YCS Pasadena, this may have been very good, because if you don't YuGiOh shuffle back your power spells, they can use this to take the power spell, like to take their power spell. And I don't think a lot of people were thinking about that when they were going into this tournament. So maybe this played off very well because of that, or because people haven't got a lot of testing against this card. People just don't respect this card that much, but it's like a real card. Like this and Beatrice are the rank 6s right now. It's not just Beatrice, it's both of these cards. Plays Access Code. Okay. Trying to think why. It's pretty good though. I mean, just summoning it and like popping stuff isn't bad. And you got the Earth Charmer, Dark Charmer, Elf, Sprint. I mean, these 3 right here are gonna be standard in every extract that we see. Yeah, except for like Flounderies. It's actually crazy. Like you spray in this deck, just or we're gonna have those. Earth Charmer is pretty good, especially if people end up playing Fenrir, or just Earth Charmer, take. You could like Earth Charmer, take Keldo if they've already used a Keldo effect, and then just banish the Keldo off field to interrupt their grave, because you can banish off field. Just use that as a level 4 for Dweller. You could take Fenrir. Then on to the third place list, we have a Sprite deck. So they play 2 Soren here, 3 Meister, no Pixies, 2 Swap Frog, double Smashers, which just doesn't make sense. It's bad at 2. And then Shifter, Droll, Gamma, Red Resonator, Cosmic, Smashers. There's not really too... Oh, they play Wallow and Cat Shark. So they don't play the Gin Buster, which is very interesting. Yeah. Not playing the Gin Buster is interesting. And then I personally think Mannequin, because like Gin Buster is supposed to be in there. Like, let's just assume it's in there, right? So you have like really you have like 2 free extra spaces at that point, and you have like 5 options. It's like Cerberus, Codebreaker, Wallow, Cat Shark, Mannequin Cat. So you have to choose between those. I feel like they chose the wrong options, but hey, they got 3rd place at the YCS with Sprite in tier format. So hey, you know what? I mean, we saw the player play. I don't have much more to say about this. It really is. The main deck really is very, very, very similar to Paulo's list. Very similar, except for the 2 Smashers. I'm very sure the only difference is cut this down to 1, play the 3rd swap, and I think that's the only difference. But 4th place list now. This was Cody Angeloff's list. I don't know the 3rd place person's name or anything. I only know the top 4 list because like I remember we got top 4. Interesting stuff in this list: 1 YuGiOh, 1 Worm, 2 Magma, Mass Change 2, playing that card, double Rhino, Heartbeat, 2 Scream, 2 Solic, no Mystic Mine in the deck. Side deck's more Bistids, just the good ones, no Sornier. Sornier's not bad, but it's not, when we say good ones, like the other effect of it. Then Pankratops, Lightning Storms, yeah, prepared for some of the rogue matchups, even Gamma. Gamma's good against just random stuff. You could easily side out, like, playing against, like Flounderies or Sprite, probably side out, like, Worm, Magmas, Mass Changes, Solic, a Scream. You know, I don't even know how many cards that was, but those are just some cards you could side out going second if, you know, you need to side in stuff like Gamma, Lightning Storm, Pankratops if you're going up. I mean, Flounderies, you definitely gotta side all that in. Sprite, you might side deck a little bit different, but onto the extra deck. Or I guess Scattershot and Spooky Dogwood are in the side deck. That's probably what I would have done if I played 2. Then we see Dark Law. Something I gotta bring up about Mass Change too, because I haven't seen it a lot. You can see it, Special Summon 1 hero monster with the same attribute as the monster you target, but a higher level than. So you can't Mass Change 2 target any Bestial and summon Darklaw. You can't Mass Change 2 target Garua and summon Darklaw. You have to have a level 5 or lower monster that you are targeting, which, you know, you got Kikalos, so you could easily target Kikalos. Mass Change 2 is technically better now than it was before, because before there was Lava Golem, there was Sphermo, there was Dark Ruler. I'm talking about like right when Sprite and Tier came out, before even people were on like combo builds of Tier. Yeah, but now, because you used to have to set this card and hold it and then use it, but now you could just turn 1 like Kikalos effect, target itself, response, chain Mass Change, like tag out, do kind of the same thing you would like with Cartagia. See Fleur, yeah, okay, it's for the orange light, and then Dweller, Beatrice, Zeus, Babushka, you know, the three links we were talking about. Zeus is cool with Dweller. It's easier to get off now than it was before. Zeus, Dweller, nice. And now we are on into the top 8 lists. So, I'm going to see Cyberstein, Rhino, like 3 of it. Plays 3 Magma, 1 Worm. Main deck 2 Mystic Mine, 1 Set Rotation, and a Terraforming. So, it's, you know, playing a couple copies of Mystic Mine in their deck list. Also plays Heartbeats. This can also out your own Mystic Mine if you needed to. And then plays 3 Tier Element Scream. Side decks to Time cards, 3rd Mystic Mine, some TC boos, a lot of XYZs. Yeah, plays the 4 links, plays IP. Because you can IP into Sprint, and that's good. Because you can Sprint, dump Miri, or IP into Elf, and then Elf summon back Miri. Next top 8 list. We got another tier build, 1 Druisworm, 2 Magma, 2 YuGiOh, 2 Diviner, 2 Rhino Heart, 2 Scream. Plays the high rate draw. This card got a lot worse because of the Ishizus. So high rate draw isn't even like it's an out to Mystic Mine. Technically, it has to be a weird scenario, right? Or not a weird scenario, but you have to like set it up way more than you used to have to. Because it used to be, okay, this card's in your graveyard, cool, you can outmine at any point now, pretty much. But now it's like they can shuffle this back, especially because its graveyard effect is only on the opponent's turn. If you read it, during the opponent's main phase, this card's in your graveyard. So they could go ahead and get it out of there before then. But you could also get it into the opponent's graveyard during their turn, but that'd be kind of hard, especially when in your mind, because you're not milling. Yeah, you could mill off Scream, but then you have bodies on board, so it kind of goes back to the point where this isn't going to work. Because even if you use its graveyard effect, target a monster, and you have 2 monsters, and they chain an Ishizu to put the high rate draw back, so that way it's not set, so that way you can't use the on-field effect, like it's still going to... It's going to be really good, and you're going to have 2 bodies in that scenario, unless if your opponent's summoning, but then you're not under mine anymore, probably, but interesting choice. Spooky Dogwood, Reaper, Scattershot, Sphere Modes, plays the Boral End, take Avermax, plays 2 Kikalos. Next top 8 list, the last top 8 list, Max is out on the Bestials, 3 Bell. Oh, this is Walter's build. If you want to hear Walter's explanations for the deck profile, you can go to my channel. I uploaded his deck list not long ago, just a few days ago, if you want to go ahead and check that out. Doesn't play the YuGiOh. Weird, YuGiOh's not that great. The mill ones aren't that good. Kelbeck's a hand trap and a mill one. You play one of it. You could go search it. It is a hand trap. Milling it, it's still going to do something. I really just want to play the Shufflers, max on the tier monsters, 2 Scream, 1 of each trap, no Mystic Mine, Reaper, Spooky, Scattershot. The 3rd Scream for going first. Yeah, when I first started playing tiers, post Dabble, like before even the Ishizus, I was siding in like Screams and more like Solic and Crime. Not because that's when Crime wasn't like in the main deck, but I was doing all that, and it's like when you go first, like just having like 3 Scream is so good. It's a good draw going first. It's a good mill going first. And what more do you want out of a card than a good draw and good mill? That's all you need. And then like if it stays face up on the field, it's insane. Planet Pop, it's insane. It's really good. It's just awkward playing in the Dweller. But even then, sometimes it's not that bad because you can start playing on your opponent's turn with the Scream. Skill drains, catch-up cards. You play against like rogue decks and like, boom. Okay, you hit me with Shifter, bam, skill drain. But not too much more to talk about. I guess they played the gigantic Downard Zeus package. So a lot of people don't even know how this package works. So I'm gonna leak it. I feel like a lot of people should have known this, especially because I brought it up before. But if you can make dark, right? So if you can make dark, your opponent has a dark in graveyard, and any monster on their field, you can do this, which is the easiest setup ever. It's literally every single game this setup will be there. Dark effect, take a blank monster. Use those, make elf. Elf effect, summon back dark from the graveyard because their opponent has a monster. Overlay those, make gigantic. Battle phase, beat over said monster. Downard Zeus. Boom. That's how any deck with... And this works for any Charmer, by the way. It's not just Dark Charmer. Any Charmer can get you to this. I think a lot of rogue decks should have this in their extra deck, but they don't know about it. So nobody's been doing it. It's actually kind of funny because like it's pretty good. It's pretty good in some decks. Especially like, you go down like the loophole of rogue decks. There's probably so many rogue decks that should be playing like a few Charmers with this, and their extra deck is so free. And then now we're on to the top 16 deck lists. So, oh, I know who this is. This is Avery Foster's list. I know it because I tested this deck because I was interested in it. Plays 1 Diviner, 1 Rhino, plays 2 World Soul Carbon. You contribute this normal summoner set card, add an Earth Fairy from the deck to the hand, except for a copy of itself. Its other effect is if a face-up fairy monsters you control is sent to the graveyard while it's in the graveyard, you can place this to the top of the deck. You can only use 1 effect of this once per turn and only once that turn. So, its main effect is pretty much normal. Tribute, go search. This is more how I saw the deck, at least, was this deck felt more of an Ishizu deck and less of a tier deck than the regular tier element Ishizu deck works. Like, I would call this Ishizu tier instead of tier Ishizu, if that makes sense, right? Like, then Mystic Mind, 3 copies of Mystic Mind, set rotation, terraforming. Doesn't play Metaverse, which I thought was a little bit strange, because Metaverse seems crazy in this deck. Like it doesn't seem crazy. It just seems like Metaverse with Mystic Mind is good, right? And then Metaverse works well with Kelbeck, because this can set back the Metaverse from the graveyard. So, like, that's cool. Gain access to, like, your Mystic Mind like that, but then you probably have a full board anyways. I don't know. It's interesting. This deck is very interesting, for sure. I wanna test it out more, because I didn't get to play that many games with it so far. Spooky Dogwood, Scattershot, Twin Twisters, Skill Drain, side decks to crime. You see, there's also no tier element Scream in the list, which I thought is crazy. But I haven't changed the list so far with me testing. I've just used their exact list. And then onto the extract, played Elder for Diviner, which they're also using Gigantic to try to get access to. And then doesn't play Mud Dragon, because it's very hard to make, because you don't play any darks. Like, you don't have Bestials or anything like that. So you'd have to, like, you literally have to put back Garou or Dragos Tapalia, pretty much. I mean, I guess you could put back, like, Dark. But it's very hard to make Mud Dragon in a lot of scenarios, which is unfortunate, because Mud Dragon is very strong, not just for making Dweller, but also its on-field effect is very strong. Fluor, and then Dweller, Gigantic, plays Beat Cop, has Mystic Minds in their deck, so you just Beat Cop, protect it. A lot of people forgot about this. Borland out Avermax, double Elf, because you can Elf, Gigantic, and then Gigantic back in the Elf, and that sets up Elder too. And then this deck, because it has like Exchange of the Spirit and Gravekeeper's Trap, you can get a lot of advantage, especially off of Elf summoning back Diviner. And then Diviner effect, dump, and then you can just mill 10 from both decks. If they're not on tier, they lost. And even if they are on tier, you have Gravekeeper's Trap up, so they can't activate anything in Grave. If you only have Exchange of the Spirit, it's fine. You could also dump Kelbeck, mill 5, and then go ahead and like set Solic back from your graveyard if they added it or something. Or on your turn, you can like set Exchange of the Spirit back from your graveyard, and then you can Exchange of the Spirit them if you want, actually activate it, which is like crazy, because you can use your Ishizus during your end phase. Like, you use your Ishizus to banish and put back their good cards in the deck, or like certain engine cards, and you could set Exchange of the Spirit, activate it, and then swap the deck, and like that's cool. I had it come up to where I was able to set this off my Kelbeck, but yeah, I didn't do anything with it. So there's that. Oh, wait. Actually, I remember now. I said that story about how it came up. I was literally playing against myself. I was literally, like, a duel against myself. And I was like, okay. I mean, that's cool, but it's not going to come up. Also, you can only use this once per duel. I thought that was funny. And then, yeah, that's it for that list. On to the next one. Flounderies. Is there anything crazy? Doesn't play Crow. Chose to play Dark Ruler, Harpy, Storm, Mystic Minds. Okay, doesn't play Extravagance or any of the Smorg little guys. Side deck's the Ultimate Slayer, the Evil Twin, extra deck. Alright, there's not too much to go. I mean, the deck hasn't changed at all, right? Flounderies, nothing like too interesting in this list. On to the next list, we have Ishizu Tier. Plays the 1 Druid's Worm in the main deck, no Magma anywhere. It's fair. You can just Dark take their Magma, search Druid's Worm. It's also just a hand trap. Plays the Turtle, 2 Diviner, maxes out. Well, it doesn't, I shouldn't say max, or no, it does max out on the Ishizus. And then plays 1 Rhino, 10 of the other tiers. Droplet, Instant Fusion, Mystic Mind. Doesn't play Terraforming. Nah, I guess that's fair. Once I saw the 3 Rainbow Bridge that are in the deck. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. You don't need Terraforming. You got 3 of it that you can mill. You can add Mystic Mind. You can add Planet. Pretty good, especially after you use the Turtle 2 and stuff. You can just shuffle it back with the, or I guess not these, but these. Also, Droplet becomes a lot stronger when you have 6 trap cards in your deck, so they can't crime your Droplet more often. Spooky Dogwood, Scattershot, side decks 3, World Soul. I want to say this is for going first, or maybe, yeah, it's for going first, but also I would assume if you play against a matchup where they don't have good mills, then you would side this in, like Sprite. Going second? That seems wrong, but possibly, because side out like Rainbow Bridges and stuff. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how they would side deck exactly with this, but maybe like put more engine in when your engine's good against their deck. Like if I can make my opponent mill 5 and they get nothing off of it, that's insane. Heartbeat, Talons, Crime, no Scream in the deck. Then Extra Unicorn plus the 3 links, Babushka, Excetonite, Dweller, Zeus. And then Elder, no Mud. Alright. On to the next list. We have another Ishizu tier, 1 Diviner, 45 cards, 1 Druid's Worm, no Magma, 3 Rhino, double Scream, 1 Heartbeat, plus 2 Super Poly, 1 Talons. Feel like that's a bit awkward to put 2 Super Poly, 1 Talons. Moonlit, Spooky, Red Resonator, Scattershot. Yeah, you're ready for time, bro. Holy. That's crazy. I mean, I get that's fair. I mean, this was like me and Nats. I had like Moonlit, Spooky Dogwood, and kinda in my deck, so I guess it's fair. But hey, like you gotta be prepared for time. But I feel like some of these players might be a little too prepared for time. Maybe just a little bit. Players are getting a little bit smarter with playing around time too. I have noticed that because of how like the popularity of people just losing the time cards, just going crazy because people just didn't know when to scoop. Has Gigantic, Dweller, Babushka, Redoer. Alright, yeah, Gigantic, the double elf, so you can bring out Diviner and try to use that again. Plays the Mud Dragon. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like a little bit unoptimized. It's also just a lot of cards in the deck. 45. It's like you can definitely afford to cut it down some. I don't know. Interesting list. On to the next one. We have 2 Druid's Worm, 3 Magma. Only plays 2 Keldo, 2 Mud, but 3 Kelbeck. Kelbeck is a hand trap. 2 and 2 though. 3 Athenas, max tier monsters, Droplet, Talons, Heartbeat, Cowboy in the side deck for time, Spooky Dogwood for time, Fenrir for Rogue, and then IP plus the 3 links, Redoer, Babushka, Zeus, Beatrice, Dweller, all the fusions. There's just nothing crazy about that. This list has Cyberstein, 1 Druid's Worm, 3 Magma, playing 9, doesn't play the YuGiOh. Max tier names, 2 Mystic Mind, 1 Terraforming, 1 Set Rotation. Main decks, the 3 tier elements Scream, TC Boo, Talent. Oh, I think this is the exact list that we saw before. On to the next one. And then this list is playing 42, plays Gravekeeper's Trap, does not play the Exchange of the Spirit with it. 2 Talons, 2 Scream. Max tier monsters, 11 of the Ishizus, 2 Diviner, the 3rd Magma on the side, Reaper, 2 Spooky Dogwood, 1 Scatter Shot, Dark Hole. Card also outs Mystic Mine, but usually if you're getting Mystic Mine, you're not going to side this thing going first. And then, okay, now we're on to the top 32. So that was all, like, the last thing was, like, top 16, now top 32. We have, I actually showed this list off on the community tab. So, they're playing 3 Mass Change 2s. So, this is Paulo's build, but, wait, it's not exactly. Cut the Mass Change 2s and Pixies for 3 Skullmeister and the 3rd Swap Frog, and then that's his build. 3 Shifter. This card is so bad. It's so bad. It goes to end phase. It doesn't end the turn. It's end phase. It's so garbage. Like, it's cool sometimes. Like, if you have 3 of it in your deck and your opponent's going to make you mill 10, then yeah. But you also have to hit this, like, early on. Because, again, like, you know, it does become end phase. And your opponent can combo in end phase. Yeah, they can't make links. Can't make XYZs, but your deck isn't the greatest. Like, I don't know. You don't even want your opponent to get to the point to where you're milling, because then it already feels like you're starting to get behind really quick. So I feel like this is a very questionable choice. I wonder how it actually played out for them over the weekend, though, because if you play a card like this, you know, even though in general I think the card's bad, it could have been insane with, like, just depending how the games went. Time card, a lot of backer removal. Dark Law for the Mass Change, plays the Wallow, plays IP, Avermax, Triple Elf. You don't even need Triple Elf. I think Triple Elf was good before, but I don't think that you need Triple Elf. I don't know, this build's a little bit different too. It's like Mass Change is so awkward because you have to use it on Blue, Jet, or Pixies. Because you can't use it on a Bestial. And it's like, I feel like that's just not... it's so wild. It's so wild to see Mass Change 2 in this deck. Because, like, I don't see how it's good. It just doesn't do anything going second. Like, it actually just doesn't do anything at all. Or I guess, like, okay, it's mid going second. It would do something, but probably won't. And then, yeah, because it's normal summon, on summon, try to out it, Mass Change 2 in the Dark Law, cool. Now what? You have to have starter. Are you going to put yourself in that spot? And you just spent 3 cards to get to a Dark Law. I think maybe in the side deck, the Mass Change 2 could have been cool. But at that point, there's, like, better things to side deck. You just go to, like, searchable floodgates instead of, like, unsearchable ones. 1 Druid Worm, 1 Kelbeck, 3 Keldo, 2 Medora, 3 Angler, 3 Beaver. Okay, so it's Sprite, Tier Ishizu with a small Ishizu package. Pretty much just wants to mill these when the opponent says you're going to mill. 2 Rhino, doesn't want too many normals. Foolish for Angler or Tiers. Or these even. 3 Planet, 1 Terra, 2 Scream, 3 Super Poly, 3 Traps. Then, plays 3 Magma, TC Boo, Gigantic, 1 Elf. But I guess, you know, it makes sense because you kind of have to have Gigantic when you're playing the actual Sprite cards. So we haven't seen a Sprite build yet in the top cup. Then 2 Sprint. You can IP in the Sprint or Avermax, so you can IP into an Interruption or just a Towers. That's not the easiest thing to out. And I think summoning Towers in this deck is better than summoning it in Sprite. Because if you summon Towers in this deck and you have 1 extra turn, that's huge compared to Sprite's 1 extra turn. Like, isn't nearly as big, like, at all. On to the next list. Got 5 Bestials, plays 3 Druid Worm, 1 Magna, 1 Sornier. You mill this card to take it, it's unfortunate. Orange Light, maxes out on the Ishizus. 2 Rhino, 3 Scream, 1 Heartbeat. Side decks, multiple cards for time. Lava Golem, Sornier 2. Earth and Dark Charmer. Beatrice plays the 5, sides into 2 more. Doesn't have any like hard going second card. Like, you know, we have engine, practically engine hand traps, practically engine hand traps, actual engine hand traps, actual engine hand traps. So it's like, doesn't have like, you know, super poly, mystic mine, droplet. Like, these are cards I'm talking about. It doesn't have any of those. Doesn't have like super easy side deck out. Like, what? I don't even think if you go first you side deck, right? You probably just keep your deck exactly the same way it is, unless if like time is coming. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, it's fair. More, yeah, you just keep your main deck the exact same. You don't even side these in to help make Beatrice. If you had like droplets, you could side those out, put these in. But list is very, very solid going first. I don't know. We have another Flounderies list. This one did play the DD Crow in the main deck. The 4 tributes. Oh, it plays Ecclesia, Natty Servant, Punishment. Not the most common package. Haven't actually seen this package in a very long time. Map, Adventure, plays Duality, Prosperity, Gold Sark. Gold Sark can also help chain block. Terraforming for map or mine. Called by, your deck is a little bit weak to hand traps sometimes too. Unexplored Winds and Dreaming Town. Wow, this list, I don't know. How did this list do good? Did you just draw Shifter a lot? Did you... Going first can also be the solution to winning games. If you just win the dice roll and you go first, you do very good. If you go second, you could draw Shifter. But, yeah, I don't know. It's... Natty Servant's also good. You can dump Garua off of it. Dumping Garua off of Natty Servant feels way better than dumping Blossom, which isn't even in the extra deck anymore, which is good. Dumping Blossom was never that great. It felt good sometimes, but dumping Garua is insane. It actually feels good. And then on to another top 32 list. 3 Magma, 2 Druis, 1 YuGiOh, plays the Cyberstein, 2 Kelbeck, max out on the Shufflers, main deck Change of Heart. This card is even good when going first, because if they drop a Magma, any Bestial, Venus, Kelbeck, you can just Change of Heart, take it, and then use it. So it's not like bad going first. It's obviously like more optimal going second. 3 Droplet. 2 Scream, 2 Solic, 1 Crime, side deck Scythe, Lancia, 3 Sanctum, 2 Zombie World for Flounderies. Doesn't have any way to get to it besides Terraforming. So you could play 1 Zombie World, 1 Terraform, like, you know, just so that way the 1 Terraforming then becomes a Floodgate also. The same way I like play 1 Lancia, no. Where you have 1 Lancia, all these are now Floodgates versus Flunder going first. You have a lot of good stuff you can side in versus Flunder going first. But I guess you also need 6. You don't even have to side these out though. You can just leave these in when you're going first. When they're going second, they're really bad. When they're going first, Magma's still okay. Druis Firm's a lot worse in that matchup. I'd probably cut this down to 1 in that matchup, depending on what else you have to take out. I mean, it is like kind of engine. It's like kind of an extender. And then onto the extract, plays the Underworld Goddess, IP, Babushka, Exceton, Night Dweller, Nozeus, plays... Oh, actually plays the... Oh, okay, actually plays something for the Cyberstein. Actually plays a target for it, the Exterio. Okay, yeah, it's the first person I've seen play like an actual target for their Cyberstein other than those tier cards. Because, I mean, tier cards are really good. But yeah, Exterio, not bad against some matchups. Even against like the tier matchup, it's not horrible. They just don't play a lot of spells, and they're not going to be activating traps for a while. Yeah, like a lot of tier lists were playing like 6 spells, like 1 instant, 3 planet, 1 Terra, 1 Scream. That's it. Another list, another Sprite list. We got 7 Bestials. Oh yeah, this list plays the power spells. Called by, Change of Heart, Cosmics, Econ, Mind Control, Talents. A lot of cards that say take. 1, 5, 8. 8 cards that say take, and you play Prosperity. So you have a lot of cards that, like, they're good going first or second. Like, Change of Heart, Mind Control, Talons, Econ. These are all not bad going first. Especially Econ. You know, our Talons, I guess like either of those are pretty good going first. These that you wouldn't expect to be good going first would work going first. You'd also have to set them up a little bit more than normal. Yeah, because you could go like Sprint, Dump, Angler, bring out Beavers, make Gigantic effect, and they could Bastille you there. They could Kelbeck you when you dump off Sprint. Plays 3 elf. I think this build needs 3 elf. This build's trying to grind more. They're not playing just a bunch of hand traps. Plays the Water Charmer in the extra deck. And then the Thunder King, the Newman, the Red Resonator with Mannequin Cat. No Chaos Hunter for the Flunder matchup, decides to play 3 Zombie World. So you'd think that you'd cut 1 Zombie World for a Chaos Hunter. And that could help out. Just put like 1 like searchable card in. Take 1 non-searchable card out. Gamma Burst, another Smashers. Then this list, we have 1 YuGiOh, the rest of these Shizus are max, 2 Rhino, max Bastilles, 9 of them, 3 Super Poly, Heartbeat, 1 Scream, 1 Solic, no crime in the main deck, side decks to crime, 2 Regeki, 3 Lightning Storm, Fenrir, Sphere Mode, Gamma, Scattershot. Extra deck we have for the XYZs, Zeus, Dweller, Beatrice. For the links, we got a lot of them. Underworld Goddess, Earth Charmer, Dark Charmer, Sprint, Elf, and IP. Just the standard 6 fusions, doesn't have the second Kikalis or anything. 47 cards in this list. 1 Druist, 3 Magma, 2 Diviner, almost maxi Shizus, plays 2 Medora, max tier names, 3 Droplet, 2 Super Poly, 1 Heartbeat, 1 Scream, 1 Solic, 1 Called By, 1 Terraform. I don't like Called By that much. I don't know why a lot of people like this card. It's whatever. It's not broken. And this card's also easier to dodge now than ever because these Shizus can, you know, Called By, target, Orange Light, chain Ishizu, banish, put Orange Light back. Called By doesn't do anything. So you like have to Called By on a tier name because like if you go like Called By, target a merely when they use the graveyard effect and then they chain the put back, then it's like okay, cool, like it's actually just a better Called By for me pretty much because now my stuff isn't shut down by Called By. Then side deck, Spooky Dogwood, Red Resonator, Time. He plays the Spooky Dogwood even though they play 47. Deck Lockdown, D-Barrier, Crime, Heartbeat. Haven't seen Deck Lockdown in a while. Sprint, Elf, Dark. Yeah, extra deck's not too crazy. Plays Gigantic, Zeus. Gigantic can also summon out the Diviner, but I'm pretty sure it's there just for Zeus. And then, oh wait, it's there for Red Resonator. Okay. Oh, why'd they choose Red Resonator as their time card over like Scattershot? It's interesting. And then, 42 card list, max tier names, 2, 2, 2, and 1. 1 Druis Worm, 3 Mystic Mine, 3 Talons, 2 Scream, 2 Demise of the Land, 2 Droplet, plays Double or Nothing. Oh yeah, I seen this list. It's like Mystic Mine, but also has like Double or Nothing, so that way, like same way that Striker did, right? Like you want to have a way to end the game. Boop, do that. Mystic Mine, end the game. Utopia double, Utopia. You can beat over elves that are face up on the field. People just leave elves up. It's the same way that it literally used to be. Like people would leave Sunlight Wolves up and Sky Striker Links up. So it's like the same idea as like back then. You just boop, Mystic Mine, beat over game. It's not as easy as it used to be. Also has Nightmare Phoenix in the extra deck. Side deck Scattershot, Magma, Sphere Modes. Then we have this build. Has 1 of the Crystal Beast Trap in it. Doesn't have 3 like the last one. 1 Turtle. Then maxes out on the Shizus, plays 1 Rhino, 3 Foolish Burial Goods. Goods can dump Scream to search a trap, Slog search a monster, Rainbow Bridge to search Field Spell, which is a monster, plus Field Spell, plus Crystal Beast, which is an extra body to work with. Plays the extra traps. 3 Mystic Mine, Set Rotation, Terraforming. Yeah, Mystic Mine, it's good. Like, if people aren't prepared for it, it is actually pretty good. People also don't know how to play around it as well, because Mystic Mine 1, Midoriya 2, Shuffle Back Havness, Chainlink Resolves, New Chainlink, Planet Effect, Pop Mystic Mine. Cool, like that works, but it's not the easiest thing to do, and they can also force that. And like if you're saving your Planet Pop for Mystic Mine, and you're not using one of your shuffle backs because Mystic Mine, then the mirror match should have a little bit easier time actually pushing through the end board before using Mystic Mine. Good amount of cards for time. Scattershot, Red Resonator, Spooky Dogwood. Plays Jet Smashers in the side deck. This is probably just for Sprite matchup. Maybe they didn't know if Tier Sprite was going to be popular and was like, you know what? Maybe I'll side Smashers, Jet against Tier Sprite. It's probably not the case. So it's probably just for Sprite. Just wanted a little bit more for that matchup. A lot of people knew that Tier was going to be the most popular deck, but didn't know by what margin. Then IP, Beat Cop, plays the Mystic Mines. Babushka, Gigantic, Zeus, Dweller, has Gigantic, can also summon out Red Resonator, plays 2 Kick Halos, no Dragos Tapalia in the extra deck. You'll probably start seeing more and more people cut that card. Some people are okay with not playing it, some people want to play it. 1 Jurisworm, 2 Magma, said that 1,000 times. 2 Rhino, 3 Super Poly, 2 Scream, 1 Heartbeat. No crime in the list at all. I think that's the first tier player that hasn't had crime in their list at all. TC Boo, Time Cards, Borlin. Let's see, this list, Diviner, Droplet, Scream, Heartbeat, 45 cards with Imperm in the main deck, decided to play Imperm. It's a decently well-rounded card. It's going to be decent in every single matchup that you play against. Sprite's pretty good against, like actually good against that matchup. Pretty good. It's like good versus Flounder, good versus Sprite, decent against Tier, and then decent against a lot of decks. Plays the Banshee with the Zombie World. Okay, because they can dump it off Beatrice. Okay. I was wondering for a second why, because I saw no Foolish on the list, but that makes sense for the Beatrice to dump. And Floodgate, the Flounder matchup. Elder for Diviner, even though they don't play Gigantic or Elf, so they don't have like easier access to this. In this build, play main decks both the trap cards, maxes out on the Shizu. Well, no, because they only play 1 YuGiOh, 1 Diviner, and then the extra deck looks pretty normal. I guess they play Floor, which we've seen some people not do. And then they play High Rate Draw, 1 Talons, 1 Desires. Okay. 1 Sornier, 3 Magma, 1 Druis. Decided to not play 2 Druis. 2 Rhino, Cowboy for Time, Dark Hole, just a bunch of board breakers. Anti-Spell, Underworld Goddess, IP. Number 60. Interesting list, but isn't that far out from standard. Just this. It's like High Rate Draw, but bees. 1 and 1. Wild. And then this is the very last list. Alright, so 2 Super Poly, 2 Talons, 41 cards, 1 Juris, 2 Magma. Plays 2 Midoriya, 2 Rhino, and then side deck 4 time cards, TC Boo, Dollar Babushka in the extra deck, IP Avermax. I feel like you should probably be prepared for IP Avermax at your next tournament if you're going to the YCS Dormantor. So the German YCS this weekend, you know what I meant. If you're going in there, I'd suggest you have an out to Avermax somewhere in your extra deck. Easy access, you know, it's not like You don't want to have like, oh, okay, I'm going to play droplets in my deck, so that way I can out Avermax, because that's just not reliable, because you have to draw droplet, and they don't have to draw Avermax. They can get to this every single game. Extra deck cards are very good resources, so maybe it's worth having an extra deck resource to try to out Avermax. So that is something I would suggest thinking about trying. And looking at the little spreadsheet thing here, we can see that the top 32 deck breakdown was 26 Ishizu tiers, 3 Sprite decks, and 3 Flandreese decks. Now, I did lie and say I had all of top 32. I'm actually missing this and that. So, we're missing 1 Flandreese and 1 tier Ishizu. We didn't really miss anything, to be honest. Nothing crazy. But yeah, also shout out to Lundridity, who is the person that has this spreadsheet and has kept this spreadsheet running for a very long time. You can see up against YCS Charlotte, which was, I don't even know how many months ago, at least like 6-7 months ago. So crazy that all the spreadsheets have been made and kept. So if you want to see the spreadsheet, I'll link it down below. Shout out Lundridity for making this. Thank you. As a community, we thank you. And I think that's it. So that's going to be it for YCS Pasadena. There's going to be another YCS this weekend, so you already know I'm going to be dropping another one of these videos next week. We'll see if there's any goo from the YCS this weekend. And peace.